Okay, I'm ready. Please, come in and sit down. If you could, well, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. Well, I'm Officer Henry O'Donoghue, the law around these parts. I apologize for the ominous surroundings, but we don't deal with this type of thing on the island too often. Now, that shouldn't take away from the seriousness of my position. I am the legal officer of this community, and as such, I expect you to act accordingly. That all sounded a little too dramatic, didn't it? Yes, of course. You're right. To the matter at hand, the reason why I asked you to come in. Well, to put it plainly, the locals have been on edge of late, and well, keeping everybody calm has been rather more difficult with your recent inquiries.
Have I broken any laws?
Oh, no, of course not. Well, if that were the case, we'd be having a much different conversation. No, I should have made that perfectly clear when you first came in. You are not in any trouble whatsoever. I simply wanted to have a friendly conversation. As I said, the locals have been on edge, and the last thing I need is for... I'm sorry, but would it be possible for you to pull back your hood so we can talk face to face?
I can put it back up if you wish.
No, that's quite all right. I'm sorry, that was incredibly rude of me.
Rude would have been pretending there wasn't anything wrong. Your reaction was...
awkward?
Typical. What does antagonize them?
I'm sorry?
You said the people were on edge and antagonized.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid that small islands tend to breed small minds, and well, sometimes those minds are prone to flights of fancy.
Like the dead walking amongst them?
I see they've already regaled you with their latest,
Flights of fancy?
Mister. Oh my. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to ask you your name. It seems my manners along with my protocol have gone right out the window. So what should I call you?
I call myself Adam.
Just Adam?
It's the only name I've ever needed. Seemed appropriate enough since I am the first of my kind.
Like Adam and Eve.
Just Adam.
Right. Well, Adam, I have to ask, what is it you want here?
I'm looking for a grave robber and murderer who fled justice many years ago. I've been following him, but 6 months ago he disappeared in Iceland. Recently, though, I heard rumor of a rich man boarding a private ship to this dear Isle, Maine I found myself in.
Are you a bounty hunter?
I simply want him to face justice for his crimes. I seek no reward beyond that.
Listen, Mr. Adam, you are starting to sound frighteningly close to a vigilante, which is something I will not tolerate.
The man you are protecting spreads madness wherever he goes. If vigilanteism is something you truly cannot abide, then take me to him before it's too late. Because one way or another, it's coming whether you want it or not.
I'm not protecting anyone. What even makes you think this person is still here? This port sees lots of ships coming and going, and people rarely stay that long.
Because this place stinks of him. He permeates the air with your people's flights of fancy, as you put it. All of them with the same story of a man who shows up, and later they are confronted with things they simply cannot comprehend.
I know the man they're referring to. His name is Alphonse Lavenza, but I assure you...
His name is Frankenstein. Victor von Frankenstein, son of Alfonso Frankenstein, a respectable man, from a respectable family, until his son brought it to ruin. The fact that he uses his name to hide like a coward is an insult to the very man who brought him into this world.
And who is this man to you?
You can say he's the man who brought me into this world.
Your father?
In a manner of speaking, though I hesitate to call him that.
Why is that?
Because it's an insult to the very title.
Oh, surely you exaggerate.
Am I, Mr. O'Donoghue? You see, I am the end result of a sickness that infects this man's mind. A sickness that went unattended for far too long and only truly revealed itself when I came to be!
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time understanding.
No, it is I who should apologize. Some wounds remain tender to the touch and elicit unwanted emotions.
So, if you don't mind me saying, you don't seem that far off from this man's age. So when you say father, are you speaking metaphorically?
Forgive me, I sometimes forget the world I walk in is difficult to relate to. Allow me to indulge in what you've chosen to call flights of fancy to better explain.
I don't see how this will...
If you would just humor me, all will reveal itself.
Fine.
Okay. Imagine what I'm about to tell you as if it were you. At the beginning, a flash of light brings you into this world. Sound is the first thing you comprehend. Loud, frightening machines filling the room with the voice of a man screaming in mad jubilation. Now, imagine slowly opening your eyes and seeing this man's face looking down upon you. Quickly, though, the jubilation fades and is replaced with something else entirely. Fear. Fear and disgust. And this man realizes for the first time the consequences of his actions. And he runs away, leaving you for dead. But you don't die, as he had hoped. You survive, walking through this new and frightening world, slowly realizing that you were never meant to be. Now, imagine finding this man through various means to ask him why he has done this thing. He offers you no answers, but instead begs you to go away. So, you strike a bargain for the one thing you thought you wanted.
Which is?
A friend. A female. Someone who, like yourself, was never meant to be, but with whom you could live out your life. He agrees, slightly fascinated by the idea. You see, the sickness has never truly left him, and he convinces himself this time will be different. But a doubt enters his mind, and that doubt turns to fear, and
He what? I'm sorry, it appears my inquiries have forced you to relive something painful, and I'm having a hard time
He destroys her! That's what he does to answer your question. Destroys her before you even got to know her! Isn't it strange having this much rage coursing through you over a woman you never even met? Maybe it's the idea that she represented a life that... No, that is not the correct word. A dream. A dream where you wouldn't have to be lonely anymore. You wouldn't have to be afraid of this world because you knew there was someone to share it with. Someone who could look past this! But it was just a dream, and that dream was destroyed by that man. And like that, whatever light might have been in your soul was extinguished. Afterward, things were done. Things that a great many people did not deserve, but rage is an erratic mistress, and it's hard to think reasonably when she has a hold of you.
I'm sorry, what are you trying to tell me?
I'm saying that there is a sickness in both your souls, Mr. O'Donoghue. The difference being only one of you chooses to see it. The other one ran to a great many places, which eventually brought him here to create this flight of fancy I see before me.
Excuse me?
Flight of fancy. I see why you like this phrase. It really makes your situation seem unreal, doesn't it? Easy to dismiss as a fantasy. But unfortunately, it's all too real, Mr. O'Donoghue, and it's very real for the people of this town. But to acknowledge that isn't in your best interest, is it?
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Oh, but I do, Mr. O'Donoghue. I do indeed know what I'm dealing with. His sickness isn't the things he creates, but believing that his actions are good and justified. You see, he just can't help himself. And he convinces himself this time will be different. Of course it never is. And he runs away, leaving a mess that I inevitably have to clean up!
What is that? What's going on?
The inevitable result of playing God, Mr. O'Donoghue. It would seem that people of this town have finally realized that what they were experiencing was not a flight of fancy at all, but an abomination of the natural world.
You don't understand.
Oh, I do understand, Mr. O'Donoghue. He is a man of great means, and that buys a great many things, the most important of which is acquiring an assistant to carry on his work, whether he be hired or made. Tell me, when you first opened your eyes, how did he look upon you? Did you even see the pain and confusion your existence caused the people of this town? And if so, did you try to stop it? I'm guessing not, because something inside you just couldn't. Isn't that right? After all, it's hard to say no to one's father, even a metaphorical one.
How did you know?
He's refined his methods, I'll give him that. But one can always sense his own kind, can't he, Mr. O'Donoghue? The people of this town, they may have known you once, but you're a stranger to them now. A thing that was never meant to be. A goon who assisted his master in the desecration of their loved ones.
No!
Do you even feel anything for these poor souls? Or has he finally designed out such things as feelings? Well, it appears he has it. That's something, I suppose. I meant it when I said I understand, Mr. O'Donoghue. He is a sick man, and that sickness has a way of spreading to others and bringing them to his way of thinking. Here is the thing I have discovered, though. His great march toward destroying death's dominion over this world is a folly. Everyone has a time and reason for being here. To subvert that is to destroy the very meaning of life itself. We're living proof of that, aren't we?
I know where he is. We can stop this.
I already know where he is. He boarded a ship heading north. He left a trail of obvious clues for me to follow, a childish attempt to lead me to my icy doom. And I will follow, as I always have. And one way or another, this will all come to an end for both of us.
He left?
Yes, he's gone, and left you behind, like all of his waste material he no longer has use for.
If you knew this, why didn't you come here?
I needed to see how deeply his sickness had taken a hold of you, and if it was up to me to purge it. Goodbye, Mr. O'Donoghue.
You're leaving?
Your fate is not for me to decide, but for the poor souls who are coming for you. You let that man run around unencumbered, and they know it.
I didn't have a choice.
You may possibly be right, Mr. O'Donoghue, and if true, that is probably the biggest tragedy of all. I meant it when I said I understand, Mr. O'Donoghue, but somehow, I do not think that they will.